Good morning. I had a horrible shift at work last night, and I normally work Saturdays, but I wasn't scheduled. But today I'm actually not mad about it at all because after last night, I don't know. Basically, I'll tell you one thing that kind of pissed me off. So I had this table, and everything went fine. They weren't like nice, but they weren't really rude. It was just whatever. And I, ran their card because they wanted to go home. And I accidentally, me and another server were running a card at the same time. So I ran the correct table. I just took the top slip from someone else's table. So I drop it off and then I come back to pick it up, see if they need anything because they're kind of like looking around. And they're like, this is not, like, they're mad. Refund us. Like, you ran us on the wrong table. Like, this is wrong. And I'm like, oh, shit. I hate when that happens because, it doesn't happen often, but every once in a while it's going to happen, okay? Especially because it was busy last night. Hold on. So it takes me all of 2 seconds to realize what happened. And I'm like, oh, like, I'm so sorry for the confusion. Like, I ran the correct, table. Like, your card is fine. I just grabbed the wrong piece of paper. And they are not picking up what I'm putting down. So I had to explain it to them 4 separate times until they finally were like, I just woke up, okay? Until they finally were like, oh, okay, whatever. And I was like, okay, like, have a good day. I'm so sorry about the confusion. So they leave, and after a while, they come back, and I see them, and they're like, don't even talk to me. They ask for a manager. And I'm like, oh, my life, like, not again. And so my manager comes over to me, and she's like, what happened with this table? I explained it to her, and she's like, okay, like, they're saying that their bank statement is showing a charge for $90. Their bill was $60. I was like, I haven't even put the tip in yet. Like, I haven't even entered anything in the system. It's not even closed out completely. And she's like, okay, so basically, I don't really know what ended up happening, but my manager was like, it's not your fault. You did the correct thing. I don't know what's going on with them. And so I was like, okay, so that was kind of annoying. And then I had another table after that. It's this mom and dad, a daughter, another mom and dad, a daughter, and then probably their daughter's friend or whatever. And they're super nice. I go over, they already have drinks on the table, right? And these girls don't look a day over 16 years old, have drinks in front of them. They're frozen. And I'm like, okay, they're probably like virgin daiquiris or something. Because like, bitches don't do that a lot. I don't know. So the people at the table are like getting up and like walking around because, we have live music. It's kind of like that kind of vibe. And one of the husbands orders 2 frozen margaritas. And I'm assuming it's for his wife. Like, I have nothing to think like suspiciously at this point because I'm also busy and he has his wife there. She's just not at the table right now. I'm like, okay, so I bring the drinks over, running around still, and then come back. The drinks are in front of the guy and the woman, and he orders another 2. And I'm like, okay, come back, walking around. It's starting to die down in the restaurant a little bit. And I noticed that the drinks are now sitting in front of the girls. And I'm like, oh, hell fucking. I'm like, no. So they're already like halfway gone. So I honestly, you could burn this entire place down with me inside of it and I wouldn't. But then I come around again and he orders another round. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I know exactly what's going on here. No, ma'am. So I go back into the office because number one, all 3 of my managers were there, including the owner of the restaurant. I am not losing my job because you want your 16-year-old daughter to drink. Okay, like, because frankly, I personally don't give it. We could lose our liquor license. Any of my managers could walk by at any moment and I could just be done for it. Like, no. So I go to the office, tell my manager what's happening. She's like, okay, I'll come out. She makes it look like she's doing rounds. And then I come back to the table after and I'm like, oh, like, my manager was over here. Like, are you guys okay? Like, and he's like, yeah, she said we can't order any more drinks anymore. And I was like, oh, like, I'm sorry. And then he looks at me and he's like, I wonder who ratted us out. Like, I don't think it was you. And I was like, so you're really dead? Knew exactly what you were doing. I was like, bro. And like, the daughters weren't ordering things. They were waiting until I wasn't at the table to like drink out of them and like put them in front of them. Because every time I came back, the drinks weren't in front of them until they got drunker, pretty much. But yeah, and there was like a lot of other behind the scenes, and it was just not a good night. And Janelli also wasn't there. And she works today, and I'm not working today, so I'm waiting for that phone call to see how this goes. Sorry that was kind of long. I'm going to the bank and getting some food, but love you guys. Thank you for watching.
I feel for this girl. I was a server for a couple of years, and it is very stressful environment, especially when customers are being as nasty as these customers were being. I just think a lot of it's uncalled for, and you should respect your servers more because they have a hard job catering to people all day, and they don't even get paid a lot for it. What about you guys? Have you ever worked in the service industry? What do you think about this story? Have you had any bad customer stories that you can remember? Put in the comment section below.